Hi guys, my name is Trinh and today I am here to do my January wrap up. This is actually my very first wrap up because in 2017 I did monthly favorites video. But honestly, I don't want to do favorites video anymore, so I'm just gonna do a wrap up because I feel like it works better for me. Basically, I am going to show you the books I have read in that certain month and also the movies, TV shows, and music I have discovered or watched in that month also, because I feel like this is a great opportunity to watch more movies and TV shows. It's basically Christine's Stories I Ate This Month video, you know. For today's wrap-up video, I have 7 books, 5 movies, 2 TV shows, and 2 new songs that I want to talk about because I think they're really good. So number 1, the first TV show that I finished is Avatar: The Last Airbender Book 3 Fire. I have done an entire video on season 3, so I'll, link it down below if you want to watch it. I have said this so many times, but Avatar: The Last Airbender is my favorite TV show of all time. Book 3, the last season, is definitely the best one in my opinion because I think it wraps up really nicely, and also we have really great character developments, and it's just so good. If you have not watched the show, I highly recommend this show. This show is like number 1 in my opinion. So I gave season 3 5 out of 5 stars, of course, because it's, it's the best. The first book I read in 2018 is Lock and Key by Sarah Dessen. This is actually a reread for me. I have a book review and discussion for this book, link it down below. This has to be my favorite Sarah Dessen book, definitely. I just love the plot, the characters, the character development is also amazing in this book. I'm so glad I reread this book because it reminds me how much I love this book. It's just really good. I highly recommend this book if you're in the mood for like a Sarah Dessen book. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. So in January, I decided to rewatch the Star Wars movies. I watched the original trilogy, so of course we have to start with Star Wars: A New Hope. I'm so glad I rewatched this film because, oh my god, I didn't remember anything. When I was watching it again, like last month, I just sat there and was like, oh my god, I forgot almost everything. And watching it again, I noticed that Luke is like kind of whiny. Really, okay, he's really whiny, and I completely forgot the ending, like the Death Star and stuff. Yeah, just rewatching this film, I have to give it so much credit because it's like the start of something big. Because if you look at the Star Wars franchise, like today is huge. We have like so many movies, we have so many new actors and actresses, and I think it's really great. So I think this is like a great first film. So I give Star Wars: A New Hope 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next one is Empire Strikes Back, and this has to be my favorite Star Wars film, definitely. This is the sequel, obviously, and it's just really good. Young Han Solo, or like young Harrison Ford, oh my god. There's just so many iconic scenes in this book, this film. It's just really good, I think. Like, the sequel is definitely better, and I know that Empire Strikes Back has this huge reputation to be like the best sequel ever, and it really is. Like, it's really good. So I gave Empire Strikes Back 5 out of 5 stars. The last one is Return of the Jedi, and honestly, it was like okay. When I was watching it again, there were some things that I just find it really odd, like the tiny teddy bear shit. It's not as amazing as I would have hoped. So I gave Return of the Jedi 3 out of 5 stars, but honestly, the original trilogy is much better than the prequel. Like, come on now. So I will watch The Force Awakens and Rogue One in February again because, I forgot everything. So I'm really excited to continue this Star Wars journey. I'm not gonna watch the prequel. Alright, so the second book I read in 2018 is All the Rage by Courtney Summers. Trigger warning, this has rape culture, slut shaming, and victim shaming in this book. In this book, the main character, Romy, she was raped by this guy named Kellen Turner, and Kellen is the son of like the sheriff and like this woman who runs like the auto shop. Basically, he comes from a very privileged family. So after that event, Romy spoke up about it, but of course no one believed her. They all think that she's lying and stuff. So a year later is when this book starts, but then a girl who's connected to Kellen and Romy, suddenly she goes missing, and then of course it turns into this huge mystery thing. Honestly, I feel so bad for giving this such a bad rating, and let me explain why I give this such a bad rating. For a book that's about rape and rape culture, we never really discuss those topics. The only time the word rape is in this book is when like the classmates make fun of Romy. Yeah, it's really fucking horrible. But honestly, I was really hoping for like at least one character to be like, rape is wrong, rape culture is so fucked up, stuff like that. Just like one discussion, but I didn't get any of that, honestly. And also, there's no character development and the pacing is just so slow. But not just that, the ending is so unsatisfying. It was really quick and it just ended abruptly in my opinion, and there's just a lot of things I really didn't like about this book. But I will say, if you want to read a book that shows rape culture in the most vicious and horrible way possible, like, rape culture is so fucking wrong. If you want to see how it plays out, read this book, because in this book the main character gets called a slut, you know, for being raped. People blame her and it's just really horrible. And in this book there's like date rape, drugs, and how people casually joke about rape. It's just really honestly very, very horrible. And I guess this is a book where you can read and think to yourself like, hey, rape is wrong, slut shaming is wrong, victim shaming is wrong. To some people they still think that it's not a big deal, but honestly rape is a fucking big deal and people should take it seriously. So I gave this book 2 out of 5 stars. Yeah, I do feel bad for giving it such a low rating, but other than that, it's just a lot of things I really didn't like about this book. Alright, I have 2 new songs I want to talk about, and the first one is Finesse by Bruno Mars featuring Cardi B. It's such a good song. I highly recommend the music video if you haven't watched it. It's so awesome. I love the choreography, I love the song, I love the clothes that they wear in that music video. I think it's just a really great song in general. I gave the song 5 out of 5 stars. I don't know why I rated it, honestly. The next song is All the Stars by Kendrick Lamar and SZA, and I love Kendrick Lamar and I love SZA. When I found out that we get a new song from them, I was so happy. This is a new song in the Black Panther soundtrack, I believe. I love this song very much. I think it's really, really good, and I gave this song 5 out of 5 stars. So listen to it if you like that kind of music. So the next movie is like my favorite movie when I was a kid. It was on Netflix and I was like, what the hell? They have it on Netflix now? So I decided to give it a watch, and that is Monsters vs. Aliens. I love this movie so much when I was young, and I rewatched it now that I'm, you know, older, and I still love it just as much. In this film, a woman named Susan, she gets hit by a meteorite on her wedding day, and she grows like at least 50 feet tall, and then she gets the name Ginormica because she has become a monster. And then she gets taken by the government. She meets new monster, but then there's this alien thing that I don't remember the name of. He wants the thing that hits Reese Witherspoon with in the beginning of the film because, you know, it makes her like gigantic. So he wants what she has in her body, I guess. So the alien attacks Earth and all that fun stuff, and it's literally monsters versus aliens. This film is so good. I'm so glad I rewatched it because I loved this movie very much when I was young. Damn, it's really good. It's really funny. I find that the comedy is just A++. The characters are good too, and the fighting action sequence stuff is pretty good. So I gave this movie 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read is Bright Side by Kim Holden. After finishing All the Rage, and I wanted to read something that's, you know, lighthearted and cute and happy, and I decided to, you know, read it because judging from the fucking title, I thought it was gonna be a really cute and quick story, and I was so fucking wrong. It is literally the most depressing book I have ever read in my entire life. In this book, the main character, Kate, she goes to a new college. Is it in Minnesota? Yeah, I think it's in Minnesota. I don't even remember the state. Anyway, she goes to a new college. She meets new people. She meets a guy. His name is Keller. They start to fall in love and shit. That's basically it. And that's all I'm gonna tell you. Let me emphasize how depressing this book is. I cried so much. Basically, I finished this book at 6:30 in the morning sobbing. Like I said, this book is so depressing, but there's also a lot of things I really don't like about this book. First, let's start with the things that I do like, if I remember any. Number 1, it made me cry. I do have to give the book some credit for making me cry. Number 2, Keller's growth from the beginning of the novel to the end of the novel. Is there a number 3? I don't even remember what it is, but that's all I remember. But let's start with the things that I really don't like about this book. Number 1 is that the main character, okay, towards the beginning, I find her to be very pretentious. In this book, this girl was like, you know what, I don't wear makeup because like it feels like a mask, and also she drinks black coffee. People think that she's like this amazing girl for drinking black coffee. Number 3, she thinks she's so cool because she listens to underrated music and shit like that, and I just sit there like, girl, sit down, you're not cute, okay? Kate is made out to be like the good guy because she's so positive and happy and always, you know, on the bright side or some shit. I don't even remember. But there's 2 female characters in this book also, and they are made out to be either a bitch or a slut. I am not fucking kidding. If you put Kate next to those two girls, it's so obvious that like they're trying to make Kate to be like the better girl. That's how I feel. Like Kate gives out that vibe that she's like better than other girls, and I fucking hate that. Number two, the pacing of this novel is so slow. I'm not kidding. Like the first half of this book, it's just Kate doing mundane things like going grocery shopping, getting coffee, talking to friends. I don't need to know these things. Number three, this thing pissed me off. Basically, Kate, that's her name. Her best friend calls her bright side because she's so positive and happy and shit. So yeah, that's why this novel is called Bright Side, because of her nickname. She goes to a new school, she meets a guy, he calls her Catherine, but she's like, no, it's Kate. But then he just proceeds to call her Catherine throughout this entire novel. But not just that, she meets another guy and he calls her Katie. And she's like, no, it's just Kate. But then he's like, nah, I'm just gonna call you Katie. And he calls her Katie throughout this entire book. This bitch is literally going by 4 fucking names. Kate, Brightside, Catherine, and Katie. And I had to put up with that fucking shit throughout this entire book. And I was so fed up because this is not realistic. Who has 4 names? I'm not kidding. Who has 4 names? I want to know, because if anyone calls me like Trinity and shit, I would have been so fucking pissed. Whew. I need to get that out. So yeah, I gave this book 2.5 out of 5 stars. I could have given this a lower rating, but I would feel like a horrible bitch if I give it a really low rating. So 2.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read is a poetry book, and it's called We Carried the Sky by McKayla Robinson. This poetry book is really cute. It's really short, and it's mostly about feminism and being a woman and how it's, you know, tiring but also empowering to be a woman. There are some really great poems in this poetry book. Man, it's really good. So I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like there's not much I want to talk about because it is a poetry book and I don't feel right criticizing someone's work when it comes to poetry. The next show that I watched is Legend of Korra Book 1 Air, and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I have an entire video dedicated to book 1, so I'm not going to talk much because honestly I need to burp. The first season of Legend of Korra is decent. I don't think it's the best, but I don't think it's, you know, the worst. Like, trust me, it's not the worst. I do find the love triangle in this season to be fucking annoying. I gave it, you know, 4 out of 5 stars for that. But other than that, I enjoy it for what it is. The next book I read is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I have an entire video dedicated to this book. Link it down below. This is the very first book in the Shadowhunter Chronicles. Rereading this book, I find that I have more problems than I thought. I don't really like the main character that much. I find her to be kind of annoying. I will say I love learning about the Shadow World, the Shadowhunters, Downwarders, the politics. I love learning about the politics because there's like a lot in this book, you know, like it's a pretty thick book for like the first book of a series. I gave City of Bones 3 out of 5 stars. The next book is We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This book talks about feminism and gender inequality, but also from a perspective of a woman of color. I really love this book. I think it's really short and it gets to the point. It's very informative and it talks about issues that I feel very passionate about. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. I think it's pretty awesome, honestly, because there's a TED talk on this too. I highly recommend this. This is, you know, really short and really cheap. It's like $8. I also watched Legend of Korra Book 2, which is Spirits, I believe. It's like, you know, the second season of the show, and I fucking hate it so much. I gave this season 2 out of 5 stars, and I have an entire video of me ranting about this season, so I'll link it down below for you to watch and just enjoy, okay? Because I'm not going to rant about it in this video. The next movie that I watched, I think you guys would judge me, but I don't care. It is Barbie and the Magic of the Pegasus. I watched this film with my roommate Rebecca because we're like, you know what, we want to watch this, and we did. And honestly, it's not my favorite Barbie movie. My favorite Barbie movies have to be like Rapunzel and like The Princess and the Pauper, The Island Princess. Barbie and the Magic of the Pegasus is not my favorite just because I find it kind of silly. Rebecca's gonna hate me because she loves this movie very much, so I enjoy it. I just don't love it as much as the other ones, so I give this movie 3 out of 5 stars. The last book I read in January is Love, Hate, and Other Filters by Samira Ahmed. I have an entire video dedicated to this book, so link down below, guys. This book is very important because it touches on Islamophobia, because the main character and her family, you know, they face hatred because there's a terrorist attack and the suspect like shares the same last name as the family. This book opens up my eyes when it comes to this issue because you see it a lot, you know, on like Twitter and on the news, but it's so important to read this book and see what the main character has to go through. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. The last TV show that I watched in January is Legend of Korra, book 3. What the hell is it called? Is it Change? Or yeah, Change, I think. Sorry, I don't remember. It's basically the 3rd season of the show, and the 3rd season definitely has to be the best out of the other seasons, and it's my favorite when it comes to Legend of Korra. I have an entire video dedicated to book 3. Well, I think it's coming after this video, so I will link it down below. It's just so good. Like, the villains are fantastic in this book, this season, whatever. So yeah, I give this season 5 out of 5 stars, and I cannot wait to watch season 4 in February. So that is it for my January wrap up. You have no idea. It was a mission to film this video because I stuttered so much throughout this entire video. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye!